Hey guys, welcome into the Poker Reborn channel. We are playing Battle Brothers Legends mod, checking out the Rock Unhold Legendary Beast. This thing is the most simplistic of all of the Legendary Beasts. Very simple, okay? Also, incredibly annoying and strong. Guess you probably couldn't figure that out, did ya? This living mountain, as it says, toe-to-toe with a living mountain. This thing has its own troubles, obviously. It's not just because it's so easy. It doesn't scream at you. It doesn't hit the earth, which knocks out your brothers. It doesn't punch you and knock you out, which I'm actually really surprised about. I feel like that is a trait with the Legendary Beast that he should have if he's going to have it. This thing is a rocket ball. A rocket ball. Just as I'm saying. First off, it can hit 3 times. It does a little bit more damage than the normal Unhold. It has quite a bit more armor, and it regenerates its armor every turn, let alone its health. How to defeat it? Well, that's another story. This thing can rocket at you, though. The reason I say rocket is because it literally jumps from one side of the map to you. You don't have a lot of time to set your lines and set how you want to defeat this thing. You have to go at it head on. Once you destroy its armor, which surprisingly is not as hard as you'd think, but once you destroy its armor, you have to really apply the pressure on its health. It does have more health than the normal Unhold, so be prepared for that. I really don't have a lot more I can tell you about it, except for it's a very simplistic fight, just has a lot to it in terms of constantly hitting it. As you can imagine, having hammers is going to be very, very helpful. Once you get through its armor, getting a lot of the health point, whatever is good health point damage, you need to take advantage of that too. If you do get hit, of course, as we all know, blunt weapons are the strongest weapon against brothers. So we need to be, or strongest weapon against brothers. In terms of injuries, it's the strongest. You do not want to get hit by these things. Archers, take them out. I'm just telling you now. It's not like they don't carry weight on the battle. Yes, you can use them if you have them. If you don't have any like special thing to them, use them. Sure, I'll allow it. But ultimately, guys, it's not about having archers so much as it's about having an ability to knock them out before they can, or like knock down the armor and then get at their health. If you get to the health, sure, use archers all day long. But hitting their armor, not quite what you should be gearing up for. I'm gonna finish getting all my guys outfitted, and I'll be back in a sec. Now that everybody's outfitted for the most part, I do want to get this disclaimer out here. I have to do it for all of the videos that have scenarios. I cannot change any of the stats. What you see is what you get. I can't click, as you can probably hear. Can't change the level. He's technically level 1, and we are walking into this with no perks. I would love to show you the Legends mod perks and how to take this thing on. You can use certain perks for this fight that allow you to have an advantage. For instance, when it hits you, having Battle Forge, that's not exactly a Legends mod perk. It's not a Legends mod perk, actually. But having another ability that, like there's one ability, man, I can't think of what it's called, son, but it gives you a 20% bonus to armor. That one would be really good. There's other ones where spilling blood, it allows you to get a rage, essentially, that causes more damage and so on. Utilize that as well. Blunt weapons, doesn't really matter. This stuff does not matter, okay? Getting into the actual health pool of points definitely matters. So let's get right to it and see what this thing can do. If we go all the way up here, okay, this is what makes it kind of funny. He's nowhere to be seen, right? Now, once I get ready, we need to be ready for this fight, obviously, but we need to pull people back. I'm hoping, yeah, we should be able to get everybody lined up, because he's gonna come screaming in here like a rocket, and we want to be ready for whatever comes. I'm gonna go like this. Simple enough, right? Okay, here we go. There it is. See, he literally was off screen over here, jumped to this, I believe it was one of these 2 tiles, then shot up and knocked out one of our guys with that jolt, of course. So, now, how do we beat him? Well, we have to get this around. And, of course, we miss our first shot. Let's just gotta see what we got here. 50% chance. Look at the damage that was put down on a billhook. This thing is not impossible to beat. And it does not have the most armor of all the things in this game. It's a little disappointing for me because I feel like he should. He should be a little better than he is in terms of the armor, but he's not, which is fine. Obviously, any advantage you can take in Battle Brothers, you do it. Do not feel ashamed about it. You take advantage of this freak. And you're going to want to, because if you miss like I am, it's a little more problematic. Let's continue. Okay, another hit. 2 hits down. We're at about a quarter? No, not even a quarter. Close to a quarter, I guess. 1/6 again here. And even like we're not really doing much with this, I'm going to actually just shield wall here for a moment. Let's go all the way down here. We want to get him into the fight. Now this thing's going to pack a punch, obviously. There's no surprise there. We'll just wait here until he's able to get another shot. Again, we did a full force. We only scratched his head. Now some of you might be like, oh dude, like that's a lot of armor. What are you talking about? You're right, it is a lot of armor. But compared to some of the other things that you face, that was a good hit. Some of the other things that you face, this is not like next level. So, and here's the other thing you need to understand too. These guys do not have defense. I'm literally working with 10 defense when it comes to however you say her name, Jalmar. So Jalmar, ugh, terrible name. I don't know what the heck. And I'm probably mispronouncing it. But as you can see, it's not like he's overachieving in terms of his hits. So right here, regenerated 100 points of body armor, 100 points of head armor. So that's how much per turn that it brings up. If we go back over here, does it look like he regenerated that much? There's a lot of armor here, okay? But for some reason, he doesn't have, it doesn't seem like he has Battle Forge. He just has a mass amount of armor. So it's a very interesting type of fight. And as we can see here, so like Magnus uses Shield Wall, which allowed him at 45%. And then we start looking at Jalmar, I think is how you say it at least, 75 at only 10 melee, gave it 75. Then we're looking down here, Menhof, or however you say it, 60, and that's just based on what he has with him. It is going to be interesting to see how this actually plays out. But we do have concussion. But as you can see, the blunt damage to crush finger, skull fracture is easily one of the worst things in this game to have. As you can see, when we hit him, we did 100 armor damage right here, 108 armor damage. And we only did 31. That's why archers and stuff, it just does not matter. If you guys can switch that, I highly suggest you do. It just doesn't do any justice against this thing early on. Only when you get the health points does it really matter. Okay, let's move up. I hate this terrain changing. I know I could set it where it, you know, makes everything hazy and all that stuff, but we're going to avoid that. And we're going to miss everything. Well, unfortunately, not being able to hit this thing adds another element of crap, you know? But when you are facing this thing and you're using, yeah, it's just, when you're using blunt weapons or you're using famed weapons, for instance, you're obviously going to have the greater advantage on this thing. Now, what you also have to remember is while this thing is actually not that terribly hard and it's a very simple fight, you need to understand that you're not facing just one of these things. Usually you're facing anywhere from 3 to, I think it's up to like 10, maybe more. You might be able to get more of these than that. Now, 3 is not terrible because when you face this thing, usually you're facing other Unholds on top of it. So keep that in mind if you decide to go after this thing. Also, obviously I'm still using the bow, but I want you to understand, I want you to see really how we're failing in terms of the bow. Oh boy, I need to get that figured out. So we're actually chunking away bigger armor here. 130, 121. Now if we get a big hit here, that would be sweet. Okay. 144 for the armor. I think that was for head. It looked like the head went down the most. And then, of course, 63 damage to the... Oh, yeah. Well, no, it doesn't really say which what. But still, that's how you want it to look. And again, we'll continue to chunk this thing down. These brothers are trash for ultra late games. So you obviously, as I'm sure you have already figured out, you know, this is not doing justice for what is really to be expected when playing this game. Yeah, he's too high up, so we're gonna just wait. Again, I'm gonna switch and we will move over one, because he's not gonna be able to attack anyways. Get our brother in position. You're freaking out. We're gonna put you forward one. We'll wait one turn. Just keep trying to chunk away at the armor as best as we can. I would like to actually have a successful showing of... Yeah, we're not going to be able to do anything at this point. Now, again, this is very difficult. This beast is difficult, but you have to remember you're going to have way better brothers when facing the rock on hold. You're going to have... you will have... What is it called? You'll have famed weapons, you'll have armor chunking weapons, and you should have bleeding. Or not, even if you don't believe in bleeding, I know this is controversial with the Battle Brothers community. Some people are like saying, oh, bleeding doesn't really help because it heals itself. Well, I've seen it where it does help, and I believe for the bleeding side of it. However, if you're in that middle category where you don't know what side to take, here's what I'm going to tell you. Get get weapons that are incredible against melee, or incredible against hit points, pure hit point damage. Some of the best in the game is the cleaver, for instance. Another one you could go for is like the great axe. The great axe, it's pure damage, hitting 80 to 100. If we go down here, just the man split, you have the potential to get a crit more than you would most weapons. Why? Because it says right there, you can see where the star is, it says hits both head and body for additional damage. Utilize as much as you can against these beasts. They're not as hard as it looks, but they're definitely not easy either. So be prepared for that, guys, and make sure to filter through the Legends mod perks, because there are so many perks that are geared for defeating such creatures like this. Oh, one more perk I failed to remember. This is one most people don't agree with either. They don't agree with having it in their party, but the fear perk, the fearless, what is it called? We'll go to perks right here. Fearsome. So fearsome perk is a great perk if you can get to its health points. Why? Because most unholds don't have a great amount of resolve. And you can, once you get to their health, if you can chunk through to their health, like it'll freak them out and they will falter. It happens. It's happened in other playthroughs and so on. It's a great tool for facing these things as well. Build your gear your guys for a certain fight. Don't just fight anything. Gear them for certain fights. You'll be way better off doing so. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the content, please hit the like, subscribe, smash your keyboard for me. I can't promise I'll buy you one, but I appreciate it. So, with all that being said, I will see you in the next one. Bye!